I was right. I was right. I was right. I was right. And it's going to make people so mad. What was some of the nonsense arguments I got after calling out that the ridiculous approach that Kevin Smith was taking to this series, and how this is not how you handle heroes. This is not how the proper way to do anything. It's a horrible take on the Master of the universe. It's in no way a sequel to the Filmation cartoon. And it's not even the spiritual successor. It's a hard, just 180 break from everything that was good about the Filmation cartoon. Is absolutely what it is. And people were saying, no, that's not true. Because I was pointing out, I did my video on the stupid design of Teela. And then people were pointing out, no, I mean, that's, that weird haircut Teela, that's probably just going to be like at the beginning, but then the show will be about her, not having that and coming back. How naive are you? This second trailer completely cements that. It opens with a scene. It's going to be Teela-centric now, 100% Teela-centric. Anybody with a brain who read the synopsis, who saw the images, knew that. We knew that. Anybody with a brain knew that. Kevin Smith came blustering and huffing and puffing, and that's not true at all. It is. It is. Kevin Smith, man, he gets work because the woke ideologues will give him work, because he'll roll over and play dead for anybody, and he'll play along and shill and simp for anyone. But why does anybody think he's actually capable of good storytelling anymore? I really don't understand it. His days of decent stories are long behind him. Not because he's incapable of it, but he's just chosen not to do it. It's like a Mark Waid or somebody like that. This just they've gone so head over heels into the ideology that they're incapable of telling decent stories anymore. They can't. So the trailer came out, and it starts with this moment where Teela takes her tiara thing off and throws it onto the ground in front of the sorcerer, I think, and Prince Adam. And she says, I've, magic. I'm not fighting for magic anymore. And it's the scene. I think the scene was when she first hears the secrets, and like, she's so mad because they kept secrets from her, and she just leaves everybody, it seems. And then there's this voiceover where they're trying to tell her that you need to stand up for the magic. You need to stand up and fight for the magic of eternity. She goes, I've built a world on truth. I don't need to go fight for magic anymore. And so the story is going to be about her slowly realizing that she has to be a hero again, and slowly drawing the team back together, who's just, completely deconstructed at this point and doesn't believe in hero work anymore and gone their own way and blah, blah, blah. This is a deconstruction. This is basically Man of Steel to Superman. It's absolutely that. And it's like, but what if Lois Lane was the star of Man of Steel? It's like that one extra step into absurdity. And that people are trying to defend still. They're still going to defend it. There's a scene at the end where she talks to diversity cast Lieutenant Andra, who's not supposed to be a black woman, but, for diversity points, they made her a black woman. Teela's saying something to her, hero work, I've tried that before. You just lose yourself in it, and Lieutenant Andra's like, oh, but you should do it or whatever. So here's the thing. There's so many problems with this. There's so many. You should realize it. But people, I'm going to give it a chance. People are weak. People have chosen to be very simple-minded. That's what that simp means, simple-minded. And it's usually a slur for like guys who are, trying to just, roll over and do anything a girl wants them to. But I think people are simps for story. I've talked about this before. You can't be a fan of the aspirational heroism that Filmation story was. If you're truly a fan of that, you would want nothing to do with this nonsense. But a lot of people who claim, hey, I love that, I'm a big fan of that, and I'm ready to watch this. Well, they're not really fans of it. What they're fans of is being a He-Man fan. There's this phenomenon that we see, and I've talked about it before. People want to belong. People want to have this experience of fandom. That's what they want. They're not really concerned about the strength of stories. They're not even concerned about getting new stories. So they're not really fans of He-Man. If the real story, if you were a fan of the real story, what Filmation He-Man truly is, you would recognize the difference that my channel is built on. When I talk about archetypes, and some of you who are longtime fans, you will know what I'm talking about here because I've kind of built my channel on it. But it's a distinction that I find I really need to make again. I really need to make this again because I've been seeing a lot of comments lately on some of my recent videos that don't understand this distinction, or they say, well, what's wrong with having a character mess up and kind of learn from their mistakes and so forth. So I need to make this distinction again. I'll do it quickly, but for people who who haven't heard it before, the difference, the important difference between aspirational heroes and cathartic motivational heroes. Before we get to any of the sub-archetypes like tricksters, frontiersmen, and so forth, and before we get to any of those sub-archetypes, your hero of a story is either aspirational or cathartic motivational. And it's very important to know which of these types your hero is, because if your hero is aspirational, they simply cannot ever do certain things that a cathartic motivational can do, and vice versa. The aspirational heroes are few. They're few and far between, but we need we desperately need the few that we have. So traditionally, Superman, He-Man, Captain America, Luke Skywalker, those kinds of heroes, All Might, in more modern day fiction and whatnot. These aspirational heroes, they're not heroes who can never make a mistake. They're not heroes who can never have character growth, but they can never question that there is a right and a wrong, and it's always worth it and always good to do the good, to achieve the right. It's always the right thing to be a hero. So the aspirational hero should always do the right thing. They can make mistakes, but never to a vast level, never to the level that a cathartic motivational hero can do. And the reason why is because they're an aspirational hero. They're there to show us the standard. It's not important that we relate to them. It's important that we aspire to them. Now, we're going to relate to them. You can write an aspirational hero well. Writers today don't know how. We'll get to that in a second. The other type of hero is the one that's a little more popular, that, people, it's easier to write them, so people gravitate more towards them. They are the cathartic motivational. You can't just have catharsis. Catharsis is a character like Hamlet, or like the Man of Steel, Clark Kent. They don't inspire you to do anything better. They just show you how hard things are, and they just show you how many ways you can mess things up in the world. That's a tragedy. That's not a hero story. But a cathartic motivational hero is somebody like Spider-Man, who shows you how you can screw up, but still get up, dust yourself off, and try to do better. And the cathartic motivational heroes desperately need those few aspirational heroes. Just as in society, we desperately need those aspirational heroes to remain at the status and the standard that they are, so that we have something to aspire to. He-Man was an aspirational television series. It was a children's cartoon. That's part of the reason why. But, again, you could have a Spider-Man cartoon and have a cathartic motivational, but it was aspirational. It was aspirational in the way that Superman of the day was, classics and stuff like that. That a wonderful story, and people gravitated toward it because of that. Ideologues hate aspirational heroes. They hate aspirational heroes with a passion, because ideologues want to tell you that there's no such thing as truth. There's no such thing as the right thing to do. There's no such thing as gender. There's no such thing as any of this. There's no such thing as a British mythology that doesn't also need to have Asians and Africans in it. There's no such thing as any of that. All that's just your social construct. So they will go after aspirational heroes with a vengeance, and they have. Superman, we had to mire him up and deconstruct him down to nothing. Luke Skywalker, get him out of here. He has to be an old angry guy and a hermit on an island. No, he can't be anything anymore. Nothing to aspire to. And He-Man. Now we're doing it to He-Man. Now, I don't know exactly what this series is going to do to He-Man's character per se, but even if it doesn't attack his character, it's already attacking his importance in the universe and his competence, because he's able to be defeated and sidelined. Nope, that's not He-Man. That wonderful, one of my favorite episodes of the Masters of the Universe, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon was, I can't remember the name of the episode. Sound Engraver will help me out, but it's the one in which he meets basically Satan at the end of the episode. This little gargoyle-like demon has been trying to work this spell in Eternia, and he's a henchman of the great pure essence of evil, which is basically Satan. You get that idea, and it shows up as a flame or whatever, and it sees in He-Man 100% incorruptible good that it can't combat. That was a wonderful scene, a wonderful moment, a wonderful defining moment, for people who think, oh, well, you can muss up the universe a little bit and make it more relatable. No, you can't. Tila herself, Man at Arms, all of these characters had a certain measure of aspirational to them because they were in He-Man's universe there. The same way that Lois Lane has a certain measure of aspirational to her in Superman's universe. She's not the same character as Superman, but she's never going to have a moment of self-doubt and worry where she kind of starts embezzling money from the Daily Planet. No, you can never do that. That's absolutely unacceptable in that universe. And there are things that are completely unacceptable in the Filmation He-Man universe. We're talking about Filmation. I know you had the mini comics that were different. I know there have been some other tellings. But even the 2002 series stuck with that aspirational aspect of it. Matthew Flynn for £5. Thank you very much, sir. Says, Prof, you still like and watch He-Man. That's a children's show. You would have grown out of that show. I hate that argument. Please read with sarcasm. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's just children's. You should have grown out of it. If I should have grown out of it, why are you so excited about a new incarnation of it? They never stick to one argument. They don't have an argument. They'll just shift the goalposts as many times as they need to try and make it seem like you're an idiot and they're the intelligent ones for knowing that all this nonsense. And there's nothing wrong with it. Mental illness haircut Tila is back. She is 100% your Tila of this He-Man series. You can't deny it anymore. It's all about her, showing people how it's done. Because she's a woman, absolutely because she's a woman. It's not Tila. It's not the Tila of the original series, the wonderful aspirational hero we had in the original series of Tila. They ruined that as well. Arcade Burns for $5 says, I saw the new trailer. Tila hates magic and has become T-Man. The thing looks like pure garbage and a beautiful candy wrapper. It really is. It is just a pile of hot garbage. And people are just beside themselves to shut you up so that they can still enjoy it. Because they don't care about He-Man. What they care about is enjoying the next new shiny thing out of the pipeline. And they're so livid that I would make a video. And it makes them mad too that video gets traction. But they can't help themselves. They come give it more traction. Every time something new happens with a series, I get a whole slew of views and even comments, engagement on that video. They just can't help themselves. They hate aspirational heroes. They need to break them down. And then you have these people who might not be ideologues, but just in the audience who just can't say no to it. Well, I mean, I got to watch it so I can know if it's good or not. No, you don't. As I said last time, you don't need to take a bullet for anybody. Nobody needs to get shot in this scenario. Stop it. You do not need to watch this filth. This absolute filth. If you really, truly loved what was before, you wouldn't give it a chance. No. You're part of the problem there.